Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pappy Hour. This is Pappy coming to you with another exciting episode of my show. Let's start with a disclaimer. This show, we talk about all kinds of topics, and honestly, I have no filter. Yes, you're going to hear some profanity in here because I tell it like it is. I don't discriminate. I'm simply an asshole to everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome. January 15th, 2019. I know I'm a little late getting this podcast out, but it has been a very, very busy week for me, and I finally got myself some time to get this recorded. I've been writing it all week, so hopefully this one will be a pretty good show. I definitely appreciate everybody's support, as I'm seeing that we're seeing an increase on downloads and listeners. So this is outstanding for me. It makes me really happy to know that I've got some listeners out there that are enjoying the material. All right, so let's get started today. We've got some things that I want to cover. Just kind of, try to come up with a few new things that, as far as like local news and stuff that I think the people should hear about. But we got to start off with the fruit basket. It's a new week, right? So we're going to keep going with the fruit basket because I've been hearing I've got some good stuff in the fruit basket. But this week I decided to actually put something healthy in there, something that I consider fruit. Now you might not consider fruit, but I consider it fruit. Yep, Angry Orchard. That's right. It's got vitamins and nutrients in it, and I'm getting all my vitamin C out of it. So, hey, why not just drink my apple and a little bit of happiness, one bottle at a time. Angry Orchard, that's right. Alrighty, so what's new? We're going to cover that in just a little bit. And then some of the topics today that we're going to discuss. There's a few things that I've been watching in the news that I want to cover. Now, I know we were supposed to have an interview today with a gentleman by the name of Sean that has come out and informed his family that he is gay, and we were going to talk to him today about how he did that and advice he could give to others, but I didn't get a chance to get to it, so I'm going to try to do it this week, but I promise we're going to get to it eventually, and when I do, I will put a little short bit out there to kind of let everybody know what's going on. But one of the things we're going to cover, we have a location in a healthcare facility in the Phoenix metro area called Hacienda Healthcare. A woman in vegetative state gave birth. Okay, she's been in a vegetative state for over 10 years and she gave birth. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a trucker or a truck that derails or rolls and spills liquid chocolate everywhere. I know. It's brought to you by diabetes. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the good old government shutdown. And then I've got a really good rant today because I, being in the business industry, I see a lot of different things. And I've got some stuff that I want to rant about. But so what's going on new with me? I met with the surgeon and regarding my back, and I do have degenerative disc disease, so that's not a good thing, but no surgery on my back yet, so that's a good thing too. We're going to try treating it, more of a conventional way before we do the surgery, but in about 8 weeks I get to go see that again. My two littles, I don't know if you remember my 4-year-old, which actually turns 4 tomorrow, and my 2-year-old started daycare, but we call it school because that's what they like to call it. And they're loving it. My 4-year-old, she did a project that really got me tugging on my heart, a bit. And it was New Year's wishes. And all the students got to tell the teacher their New Year's wishes. And so my daughter, her wish was to play more Play-Doh with Daddy. So I love that girl. I'm going to keep her, I think. And definitely we're going to have to get that Play-Doh out and do some of that. So that was good. Business is going good for us. We're creating new jobs for the year, which is really good. I've always been big on trying to create as many jobs as possible. And we found out that there's a magazine that ranks different businesses in different types of, types. And we found out in the security section of it, we got ranked in the top 10 again. So we've been ranked in the top 10 since 2010, which is really, really cool for us. We don't know what we got ranked yet as far as being one of the top 10 best security companies in the state. But we find out in February when Ranking Arizona magazine comes out. So I'm excited about that. When we do find out, I will definitely let you guys know. All right, so we're going to talk about one of the issues that are going on. So we said that Hacienda Healthcare in Phoenix, it is a DES approved facility with, I think it was 74 beds. Yeah, 74 beds in there. And some of these patients are there for a long time. And from what I'm getting is this 29-year-old patient, she's in a vegetative state for over 10 years. Now, there's also somebody or several different reports that are saying that she's been there for 27 years since she was 3 years old, but wasn't vegetative until just a little over 10 years ago. But she gets pregnant. She gives birth, and the staff says, we have no idea how this happened. Now, I want to know how the hell a healthcare facility doesn't know a patient that's in a vegetative state is pregnant. Okay, first off, do they not bathe these people? Because they would see that she's getting a little bigger around the belly. Her belly's getting hard. Wouldn't they do weigh-ins to make sure that she's not losing weight, that she's maintaining good nutrient levels and all that? Or how about blood work from time to time? Wouldn't they do that just to make sure she's meeting her iron and all that stuff? I would think so. There's also reports from workers at that facility that state that they're supposed to do bed checks every 15 minutes. So apparently that wasn't being done, unless the person that assaulted her was the one that was supposed to be doing the bed checks. But some interesting facts about this is back in 2016, the head of DES was actually investigating Hacienda for taxes, and they believed that they were being billed over $4 million a year in fraudulent billing. So they were investigating it, and he was actually about to close down this facility in 2016, but then Governor Ducey fired him. Now, they say that they fired him for mismanagement. I'm not exactly sure how that works with DES and all that. But I do know that there was an active investigation and then it stopped. Also, Timmons, which was the DES, or not Timmons. I'm sorry, Timmons was the CEO, and he just actually abruptly resigned. But the DES official that was fired also stated that he was looking at a lot of complaints, and he was looking at the averages of things compared to the U.S. average. So what I mean by is, so the state had done a report on Hacienda, and they rated them a 1 out of 5. So obviously they couldn't rate them a 0, so they had to give them a 1. So that was the worst you can get. And then they were saying that it has a higher than U.S. average for people living in pain. And so it's like 1 in so many numbers. But they were saying that they have a higher threshold of people there that are not getting good pain management. And then they also talked about how Hacienda also has higher than the U.S. average on patients that are tied and restrained to the beds. So, the DES guy was looking at all this and decided it was time to close it down. But now we've got this issue. Apparently, officials have searched a warrant so that they could collect DNA from male staffers. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the individual that did this is a staff member. It also doesn't mean that they're still employed. So this could be really, really ugly. Now, Romney is the former Attorney General, and he has actually been brought in to investigate this. And I think we're going to find some really, really disgusting things out about this facility that we don't want to know. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to turn, but I feel really, really horrible for the family and for this actual individual to be taken advantage of. Now, to think about this, okay, this facility has been open for over 50 years from what I gather out of research, and having 74 beds. That makes you wonder how many other victims are out there, but they didn't get pregnant or were released and then found out they were pregnant but don't know circumstances with it. So that is really, really scary. Now, coming from the security industry, my thing is this obviously inadequate security for this facility. Background checks possibly are not being done, appropriately. But then again, we never know what goes on people's minds until they flip and then they do whatever disgusting stuff they're going to do. But one of the things I was thinking about, I know we have HIPAA laws, which HIPAA is a Healthcare Privacy Protection Act. And what if families of patients that are in vegetative state or comas and all that these people cannot defend themselves, but what if those families can put in their own like Samsung camera or something that you can get for the house where they can view their loved one that's in these facilities, maybe sign off on a waiver saying, we want this system in place. It's going to be directed at this bed. We will be the only ones with access to this, yada, yada. So what if they can allow that? That would be a smart move. Obviously, adding more cameras to the hallways. That way, they can go back and research how many people, who's been in and out of rooms should something happen. I would actually protect Hacienda if they were actually smart about it and put that into place, because that would show they're making every effort that they can, to provide a safe environment, which by law they're required to do. So, that's just really horribly disgusting, and I just do not know how the hell that happened, and I pray that whoever gets caught, honestly, I think deserves to go in front of the firing squad after they're castrated. That's my theory on people that rape people. Firing squad, castration. That's right. Alrighty. Next story we got up near Flagstaff, Arizona. A truck with a big tank, 40,000 gallons of liquid hot chocolate spills all over the road. Now, I've never heard of chocolate being delivered by truck in a liquid form that's hot. I've never heard of that. So now that I know, I'm going to be looking for chocolate trucks everywhere I go. But where the hell was I? I would have been doing, swimming in that stuff. I'd be backpedaling in it, drinking it up, not even caring about my diabetes getting out of control. But that could have been a nasty mess, but I'm pretty sure it was sweet but dirty to clean up. But sure it smelled real good out there, kind of like a whole chocolate village of some sort. But that was kind of interesting. 40,000 gallons spilled all over the highway. Wow. Alrighty. Government shutdown. We are now on 24 days. It's been shut down since December 22nd. It's now the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The longest. And, it's amazing to think about the areas and the people that are affected, affected, not infected, affected by it, sorry. Federal employees, okay, hundreds of thousands of federal employees don't even know if and when they're going to get paid. Many of them are working in particular parts of the government where they cannot go out and moonlight and get second jobs without permission from the government to do that. So they can't, make some extra cash right now to make ends meet, which is ridiculous. TSA agents are still not paid yet. Apparently the last federal paycheck that went out was December 28th, which was the last one for 2018. But now that we've got 2019 here, apparently TSA agents that are still working without pay have been promised a $500 bonus. Now, yeah, that $500 bonus is going to be really, really good. But do you honestly think, with all these federal employees and all that, that the people they owe money to, the bills that they owe, are going to sit there and go, yeah, you pay us when you get money and then we'll worry about it then? No, they're going to want their money now. Just like the government says, no, we're not going to wait until you have the money. You give us the money now. So where our taxes are being, collected still. So do I not need to pay taxes? Do I not need to take taxes from my employees? Because if the government shut down, there's no taxes being expended anywhere or on anyone. So why should I have to pay? I mean, I don't get it. Another one to think about, national parks. Okay, these are all federally funded. They're disgusting right now. Disgusting. They're overflowing with trash. The toilets are nasty. There's no staff there watching them, so you got safety issues and all that. A lot of them are still open, but it's disgusting. How about FDA? Food inspectors. They're all furloughed right now. So there's no food inspectors going around to all the major facilities, especially the ones that have had E. coli scares in the last year or so. They're not being inspected. So, okay, so what's going to happen? Are we having another scare? And then who do we blame? Who do we sue for that now? FEMA. They've been forced to furlough employees. So if we have a natural disaster, we're screwed. FBI, 5,000 of 35,000 employees are furloughed, but then those 30,000 employees that are still working are not getting paid. I really, really don't think they're going to be working their ass off to take care of us if they're not getting paid. Federal prison employees, I'm sorry, but you couldn't lock me in a prison and not pay me, even if I claimed I'm going to get a check in God knows when. There's not a chance in hell you're going to lock me in a prison and expect me to protect and watch over prisoners and not get paid. Not a chance. Ain't going to happen. But you know what? It's interesting is I was reading that some of Congress, some of the members are saying they're going to voluntarily refuse a check until the shutdown is over. Oh, thank you so much for volunteering to not collect a check. You shouldn't collect a check. You're no better than the people that are not collecting a check. Who the hell puts you up above everybody else? Matter of fact, we're the ones that hired you. We're the ones that elected you to do a job to protect these people that you've let down. So as far as I'm concerned, you're fired. If I can't do my job properly, I'm sure as hell going to get fired. How about those federal employees that aren't getting paid? If they don't do their job, they're going to get fired. So why the hell shouldn't you get fired, Congress? I just don't get it. It just blows me away. How about federal contractors? Now, being in the security industry, I do get to see a lot of federal bidding and contracts have gone out. And I've been on several, but I've always read them over and always read over who got the contract, and it's always the bottom dollar. Doesn't matter how good somebody is on that particular service, it's always the bottom dollar. And I've seen them take bids that are just pennies less than at the very bottom, just pennies less, and they'll accept the very bottom bid. Now, those margins are already really small as it is. So now we've got a very, very low billing rate or price rate. And government contracts are net 30, net 60. So that means that we're not even going to get paid 30 or 60 days down the road. Now, it also states in there that we have to work regardless of a shutdown. So these people are already billing bottom dollar, receiving money whenever the government wants to pay them. And also, if the government pays on time, so they could pay on the 29th day, they expect a discount. Okay, so what about those companies are now having to fork extra money, push extra money, and pray that they're going to get paid back or get paid back in time. And then there is no guarantee that they will receive checks in 30 days after it's over. It could take them years to recover. Some of these people might even end up having to shut down. And I can tell you right now, if I got an invitation to bid on a federal contract now, I'm not going to do it because I can't trust the federal government to make sure that they pay their bills on time. And I think it's just crap. I really, really do. So I'm saying, I'm reaching out. I'm calling out Congress saying, get off your asses. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Get off your ass and let's get this done. Okay, this is over a stupid ass little wall. $5.4 billion. Okay, come up with something. Figure out some way. And don't even do another one of those stupid ass temporary ones where you do it for a month and then we're back in this problem again because you're screwing with people's lives. Okay, it's time to stop lining your pockets with all your little projects to keep certain things that are just a waste of money going. They call that, I believe, pork barrel projects and all that stuff. Stop lining your pockets with different company money and focus on what you were hired to do. Focus on what you were promising that you would do. Take care of the American people, and I don't see you doing that. Unbelievable. So that's the 3 things today that I think people should really, really be watching over. Well, not necessarily the chocolate thing, the liquid chocolate. I just thought that was really cool. But, when it comes to healthcare places, do your research. Make sure that, these people don't have any bad reviews. Even check in with, the state to see if there's been any complaints filed to the state. Find out what kind of complaints. I've never had to, and knock on wood, that I never have to place a family member in a facility like that. But I would, if ever needed, do as much as I can to evaluate that and make sure that I am doing the right thing for my family member. Okay, so kind of change it up a little bit. I want to talk to you guys about something, and this is kind of something funny that a friend of mine and I were talking about the other day. And those of you that don't know, Pappy, me, I have a hearing loss. So having a hearing loss actually makes this topic a little bit more fun and funny, for those. But misunderstanding songs. Okay, so there are songs out there, and I've got 4 songs that over my life that I've really, really misunderstood what they were saying. There's a lot more than that, but these are the funniest that I could think of. Having the hearing loss makes it definitely a lot more fun for those around me, and kind of embarrassing sometimes for myself, but I make light of it and kid about it. But first song that I butchered, especially as a kid, and I still get made fun of by my family about this, but it's actually kind of funny now, and I've actually rewrote the song to what I heard, and it makes it fun. But Oak Ridge Boys, Elvira. Okay, so there's the verse in there that says, "My heart's on fire, Elvira." I didn't hear it like that. I heard, "My heart's on fire, have a virus." So apparently I thought Elvira was virus. So that was kind of interesting. That was I was much, much younger, before I had the whole hearing aids and all that. And even like Kraft commercials where they would say KRAFT, and for me it was JGAR. How I did that, I have no idea. But all right, so the next song that I butchered is KC and the Sunshine Band, "Please Don't Go." So the song says, "Please don't go, don't go, don't go away." Now, no, I'm not going to sing these songs for you. You can sing them all you want, but I'm just going to say it as it is. So, please don't go, don't go, don't go away. And I kid you not, and you can't make this shit up. I kid you not. I heard, "Freeze the Pope, the Pope, the Pope away." And I sat there and I was listening, and I asked my mother, why would they sing such a horrible song like that? Why would they freeze the Pope? And she just busted up laughing. And I was like, what are you laughing about? And she told me what they were saying. And for years, I really, really thought they were talking about freezing the Pope. And I have no idea. I thought that was just the most horrible, god-awful song I have ever heard. So that was kind of interesting. Another one that I thought was real interesting is Donna Lewis. I love you always forever. And the way she goes, I love you always forever. And I swear, I thought I heard her saying, I love shoes always forever. And I thought for years, why the hell would somebody write a song about shoes? But then again, it was a woman singing about shoes. A lot of women like to collect shoes. So I thought, well, maybe this lady really loves her pumps or whatever it is. And then the last song that, and this one just recently, I recently found out exactly what they were really saying, but it was Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer. Okay. So the verse is, Tommy got his sixth string in hock. Now he's holding in what he used to make it talk so tough, it's tough. Okay. For the longest time, even till just recently, and I even had to say why, they were doing that. But so I thought I was hearing, Tommy has his degree in high. Ease on him now. Please don't make him talk so slow. It's rough. And I always thought, damn, this Tommy guy is really dumb. Gina needs to seriously run away. I just, I don't know. I think that's just weird. So anyways, if you had songs that you thought you knew the words of, but it was actually wrong, do me a favor. Go check out my Facebook page. It's Pappy Hour. And let me know what songs you misunderstood and what you thought they were saying, and I'll read them on the next segment. Alright, so now we flip through my pages here because I've got all my notes so I can make sure I cover all the good stuff for y'all. My story of the week. So there is an app that you can get on your phone called TikTok. Okay. And I love watching some of these things. Some of these people are really, really corny. But there's a guy called the Poro King. Not Porno King. The Poro King. Poroking. The Poro King. And man, this guy is hella funny. I'm telling you, you need to watch his stuff. Especially the bang thing. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You need to check this guy out. He is hilarious. And make sure you follow him. Because I'm hoping that we'll get to see some more. I'm trying to convince this guy to actually get himself a YouTube channel. Because this guy is, like I said, hella funny. I held a training class this last weekend for potential and new security guards in the industry. And I'm a certified instructor. And we're talking through the class, and I had one student that was just really having a hard time with just about everything in the class. But we're talking about racial profiling and the use of slurs and stuff like that, on what not to do and stuff like that. And my student, she raises her hand and she asked, well, what's a slur? I don't understand that. And I was trying to explain to her exactly what a slur is, and I was doing everything I can not to say one of the words. So I was like, like the N word, or, sometimes when people talk Hispanics differently, they use a certain word, and she just couldn't get it. I said, okay, like me, I'm white, so somebody called me a cracker. And she goes, oh, you mean like Peckerwood? I don't know where the hell Peckerwood is a slur, but I mean, the whole class just busted up, and she thought she was just God's gift. But anyways, that was an interesting story, but I always learned something new about people when I do these classes, and sometimes I just wonder, if there was a way for me to teach common sense, but everything I've done, I can't possibly come up with a way to teach common sense. I just don't know how I'm going to do that. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about some movie reviews, because I got some good comments on movie reviews last time. But this time I think I'm going to cover 2 movies that are older. 2 movies that the younger population may not have seen yet, and I think that they should go out and see. First one is going to be one of my all-time favorites in the world, Howard the Duck. That's right, it was released in 1986. Okay, it stars Ed Gale, Leah Thompson. Leah Thompson's from Back to the Future. Jeffrey Jones, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, he was the principal. Tim Robbins, he was in Shawshank Redemption. But Ed Gale, this guy is hilarious. I love this guy. I actually know Ed Gale. And you can actually follow him on Facebook. It's really cool. It's called Official Actor Ed Gale, Gale. He was in several of my favorite movies as a kid, and some that of the TV shows that I really enjoyed watching. He appeared in over 130 TV shows and commercials. He was the original Chucky in Child's Play 2, and The Bride of Chucky. He was Birdie, the early bird, in one of the McDonald's commercials back in the day where Birdie actually flew. He was Tasha the baby dinosaur in the New Land of the Lost TV show. He was a Dink in Spaceballs. He was in Baywatch for an episode. He was in all kinds of TV shows, and he was in Polar Express as one of the voices of one of the elves. This guy is great. I got to sit down with him about a year ago and talk with him and learn some interesting stuff about Mel Brooks, and but that's enough on Ed. Ed's a great guy. Get a chance, check him out. Official Actor Ed Gale. But anyways, Howard the Duck, and I'm going to try to do this without too many spoilers, because I want you to see it. I want you to see this movie. Now, yes, the graphics are a lot different than what you'd find today, but I thought it was pretty damn good, and I enjoyed the story. Plus, the music in there that Leah Thompson sings from Cherry Bomb, which is her rock group in this particular movie, are really good songs. I actually have a couple of them on my iPod, which is cool. But the description that's written out for this movie is: a sarcastic humanoid duck is pulled from his homeworld to Earth, where he must stop a hellish alien invasion with the help of a nerdy scientist and a cute, struggling female rock singer who fancies him. Now, I really enjoyed this movie because, one, I like sci-fi movies. Leah Thompson, can't go wrong with Leah Thompson, especially back in those days. I actually have a picture of her. Okay, I'm going to say it. In her underwear with Howard the Duck autographed. So that's really cool. But I would love to, Ed Gale, if you're listening, reach out to me on my page. Let me know. I'd love to see if we could do an interview. Let's talk Howard the Duck. Let's talk Chucky. Let's talk your movie experiences. And there's some other things that we could talk about on how you can relate and give your story to people. Next movie that I want to review. This is, as a kid, I enjoyed bike riding. We were outside all the time. BMX was the thing back in the 80s. I mean, if you knew how to do bunny hops and, jump ramps and all that stuff, you were a badass. Well, this movie was released in 1986. It's called Rad, R-A-D. Now, Bill Allen is Crew Jones in this movie. And we got Lori Loughlin, which is Becky from Full House. And this is back in 86, so she's pretty young. We have Bart Connor. He's a U.S. Olympist, but he was the bad guy, Bart Taylor, in this movie. And I could tell you, this movie, it was awesome. It was about overcoming your obstacles, following your dreams. Had some serious badass BMX riding in it. And the music that's in there, there's songs in there that I actually use before I go into proposal meetings and stuff like that to really get pumped up. And but the synopsis of this story, because I don't want to give it all the way, okay? The story of a young man named Crew Jones, which is Bill Allen's, who has the intensity and desire to win a BMX race called Hell Track. He's in a small town, and he's afraid he's not going anywhere, and he gets this opportunity to race, and it becomes rad racing. I'm telling you, this movie is badass. Bill Allen can also be found on Facebook, and I talked with Bill Allen quite a few times, and I'm going to see if I could get him to come on. That would be awesome, because I like it. Unlike that Ed Gale, I got to meet Ed. Now I want to meet Bill Allen. So he could be found, Bill Allen, SAG-AFTRA. So it's Bill Allen, SAG-AFTRA. You can find him on Facebook. He does a lot of racing stuff still, a lot of BMX stuff. But I got to say, those two movies, even though they were older, back from the 80s, get a chance, find them, watch them. Howard the Duck can be found on DVD. I have not seen Rad on DVD other than pirated copies, but I do know that there are some clips and YouTube bits that you can watch, but Rad Racing was pretty cool, or Rad, the movie, was pretty cool. And I could still watch it today if I can find a copy of it. Alright, so, my rant of the day. Okay, we've got something that just bugs the hell out of me. Okay, who is the knucklehead that came up with share size M&Ms? Okay, I'm sorry, but share size for who? Squirrels? There's just barely enough for me in that bag. Somebody reaches in my M&M bag, they're gonna lose a finger. Same with family size Lay's chips. I don't know what family can share that bag, because I can't share that bag, because I can sit down and 30 minutes later it's gone. But I want to challenge. I want somebody from M&M's and somebody from Lay's to call me and tell me exactly how the hell they came up with family size, and tell me that I'm wrong. And I doubt that they're going to be able to tell me that I'm wrong. Okay, so let's talk my biggest rant. What the hell happened to work ethics these days? Work ethics, they're gone. What happened to loyalty, honesty, working for what you want? I mean, it blows me away that the work ethics today are completely gone. Flipping through my notes here so I can make sure. Alright, so what happened to working for what you want? Actually earning your pay. Okay, as a business owner, I ask this question all the time. Okay. People apply for jobs. And when you call them or email them to schedule an interview, they don't get back to you. Why even bother applying? I don't get that. Or if you actually they agree to come in for an interview, and then they don't. So then there's wasted time. That's just bugs the hell out of me. I mean, if I tell somebody that I'm going to meet them for an interview, or if we're going to meet for a meeting and whatnot, I'm going to be there. Or how about the people that accept the jobs, and then business owners go through all the process of getting the paperwork done and getting them in the systems, and then they don't show? Do people not care about possibly hurting or risking other jobs for other people or businesses? I mean, I know it's kind of every person for themselves these days, but what's happened? I mean, have morals and ethics become extinct? I mean, have we become a society where we expect handouts or everything to be handed to us? I mean, I'm honestly so thankful that my mother and my father taught me that hard work pays out. If you want something, you got to go out and get it for yourself. Now, having a hearing loss, I've had to work a little harder for some things, but I've never said, hey, I've got a hearing loss, you owe me this. I mean, some of us, including myself, are not necessarily geniuses, but we'll work our asses off for what we want and for those that we need to support. My children, or at least right now my oldest, have been taught to work hard, respect others, and to have ethics. Now, I expect that I'm going to instill this in my two babies so that when they get older, they're going to work their asses off. Nothing's going to be handed to them. Hey, maybe this is one of the major issues with the world today. Maybe people think that they're owed everything in life. I'm sorry, nobody owes you shit. Okay, nobody owes you a damn thing. Okay, the only thing that you're owed is your own self in your own head to work for what you want. If you want it, get it. I mean, I can go on and on and on about this issue all day long. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to get anxiety talking about it right now. And so, America, let's get back to actually having some morals. Let's get back to actually working for what we want. I've got all kinds of notes here that I keep writing all this stuff down, and it's just crazy. I mean, I can go on and on about ethics and some of the things that I've seen in the business industry. I've got people that are amazing workers. I have amazing employees, but then there are people that just don't want to work but want the money. And I get it, but at the same time, let's earn it. Let's do it together. If we work our asses off together, we're gonna make something big. I mean, that's probably what I'm thinking. The problem with Congress too is their work ethics are gone. They've been handed everything they want over there. They're getting their pockets lined with whatever it is they want. I don't know. Alrighty, so now it is time. That's right. It's time for my mind-blown random thought of the day. Okay, you've heard that phrase. That's the best thing since sliced bread. The one thing I want to know, what the hell was the best thing before sliced bread came? You never hear what that was. Now, I got another one for you. If Barbie is so popular, why do you need to go buy her some friends? I'm just saying, okay? I know you're mind blown, right? You're mind blown. You're probably still thinking about the first one I asked about cows and the milk. I know. I have these things, these useless things that just keep your mind going. I get it. Well, I appreciate everything this week, you all, for listening. And please share my podcast with your friends. Let's get some more people in there. I've actually had a few people reach out about possibly sponsoring some shows. If you're interested in that, let me know. We could definitely talk. I really appreciate everything. And I hope you guys stay safe. Take care of each other, and remember, we've got to get out there and we've got to do our part to make the world better. Later, guys.